With that, I'd like to quickly introduce Jon Corippo. So Jon has more than 20 years of experience in education as a teacher, tech coach, and administrator. As the co-creator of EduProtocols, Jon has helped teachers across the globe implement lesson frames that utilize innovative instructional strategies to create engaging learning experiences for all students. EduProtocols have become popular worldwide as a way for educators to increase student engagement and learning. There's currently 5 books out about EduProtocols, and I think it looks like there's a couple more in the works as well. So we're very excited to have Jon and a few of his guests join us this morning to help us learn to teach better and work less with EduProtocols. So please join me in welcoming Jon Corippo.
All right, I'm going to grab the screen here, Alex.
Yep.
Good morning, everybody. And Alex, I'm pretty good at watching the chat, but if anything pops up, you just get right in there and let me know. Like,
perfect. I'll keep an eye out.
Don't worry about interrupting. We're all just teachers hanging out, trying to get ready for school. So think of it like a giant positive teachers lounge where we're sharing. So yeah, if anything shows up in the chat and I don't see it, you just get right in there. Couple of things for everybody as we get started. One of the things I want to share is that I will be sharing lots of resources today. So don't ask for the slides. I'm going to share them. That'll happen towards the end. And then Alex, I got a breakout session after this, right? So I'm going to be doing some more, I'll do some more protocols as we move through the morning. And just a tiny bit more about me for context for folks. My first day of teaching is April Fool's. I started teaching when I was about 31. I taught on an emergency credential for 3.5 years because you can only teach on an emergency credential for 5 years. So I had to end that at one point. I did about 9 years in K-8. I've worked at 2 county offices. I got to start a high school from scratch. That's a challenge. It was memorable, but I'm super glad that we finished. I've been an assistant superintendent at the county level. And at one point I was the executive director for computer using educators out in California, which is about 27,000 teachers that work together in kind of a co-op nonprofit kind of format. And I fired myself because I love classrooms. I was coming home from a work trip in Australia, and I said, you know, I'm pretty good at the admin thing. I've moved up the chain. Here's where I'm at, and I just really, I don't know if it was God or I was just hallucinating myself, but I was like, I want to go back to the classroom, and so I did, and I spent 2020, 2021 right in the middle of COVID working in classrooms, and I just absolutely, it re-energized my career. And so I did that for 1 year, but then so many people were asking me to teach them EduProtocols, I started doing this stuff. So I do classroom takeovers now, Alex. I fly all over the world. I've done this in Mexico City, India, Rome, and I take over classrooms from the TK all the way through AP level. I've had as many as 120 second graders in a group at once working together, like all at once. I went to this school and they just brought me all the second grade classes and they were like, okay, go. And I've done this in a whole bunch of states. I'm in Alabama right now, even though I'm from California. But in the last 2 years, Alex, I've walked into just cold turkey 450 classrooms and started and just taken over the instruction. And it is positively amazing to see how similar teaching is everywhere. Like every school I go to, they teach the same way. And I'll get into the data on this, but we're also getting the same results everywhere. So like you mentioned already, Alex, our big goal here is to teach better and to work less. And teaching better means, and I've got some guests jumping in. Liz is doing mommy daycare right now. We have teachers that'll be joining that are experiencing 15, 20, 30 points of growth per day. And then I'm super excited because I've never hung out with Justin synchronously before. He's got his kids doing 5, 6, 7 EduProtocols in one 45-minute class. The other thing that's great about EduProtocols is you're going to work less. You can go home on time. You're not grading all weekend. You're not up 2 in the morning, you know, doing lesson planning. It's really, really fast. And here's just my little first bit of data for this morning. Look at this. This is my friend Ariana. This is 4 weeks of work, Alex. This is 4 weeks and in an F makeup class. And look at these scores, 75%, 65, 45, 35, 38. This is where her kids entered in their math skills. Look how many different standards she's covering. These are all different strands. And here's what it looks like basically 4 weeks later, almost all 90s and 100s. And so that kind of growth is just incredible. But the best part was Ariana's kids were telling her, I've never enjoyed math before. So she wasn't just grinding this out of them. They were actually learning to enjoy math as ninth graders. And when I hear that story and I look at that chart from Ariana, I think, oh my gosh, what have we been doing for the last 32 weeks if we can get this done in 4 weeks? So I think it says a lot about engagement, better lesson design, immediate feedback, and changing the way things work in classrooms. So here we're in just a second, we're going to do a couple of these EduProtocols. The first one I want to share with you guys is an oldie but a goodie. I started doing this in about the year 2000, and it's called the Fast and the Curious. And we kind of call it our gateway EduProtocol. It's really easy. You give kids one quick repetition on something they don't know. You take the computer and it gives you immediate feedback, and you coach kids on what they just did. And then you do another repetition. And here's one of the little subtleties that we do, Alex. We don't look at the kids, we look at the class average. We look at the class average. So let's say that we do this and Liz comes in first and Justin comes in last. Sorry, Justin, I had to have somebody be last. And I go like, Liz, great job. Oh my gosh, so impressive. Alex is like, dude, what about me? What about? So what I'm doing is treating it like a class activity, not just a singular student having success or not. And I don't know, are any of you guys let us know in the chat if you're native Turkish speakers. Is anybody in there speak Turkish natively? That way I can have you help your friends. But I'm just going to use Gimkit. This works with quizzes. This works with Kahoot. This works with any of these kinds of platforms. And so basically, I got to go down to my Turkish quiz here real quick, where it's been a while since I made that one. Turkish. There we go. So we're gonna learn some Turkish foods right now, you guys. And I'm not gonna give you any help to start with. We're gonna do this, what we used to say in the 70s, cold turkey. First little coaching point, a lot of times these quizzes will come with a 7-minute default, way too long. I'm actually gonna go 2 minutes, you guys. There's only 8 questions. You don't need 7 minutes for 8 or 9 questions. So I'm gonna have you guys hop in right here. I'll put the code in the chat, gimkit.com. And fun fact, Alex, did you know that Gimkit's owned by like a 25-year-old kid? This was his senior project. And he's really cool.
Also, if I could jump in real quick, John, just
Heck yeah.
As everybody's getting in, Gimkit is one of our giveaways, is a subscription to the premium Gimkit. So
oh yeah,
make sure you stick around for those giveaways.
Good. Great synergy, way to plan. I don't think we planned that. I think that was, and I will tell y'all, I'm not going to show you a lot of things that your district or yourself needs to buy, but Gimkit is literally, it's like $4.72 a month. What's your life worth, you guys, to get, what is it worth to get your whole weekend back? Because you're A, not grading, and B, Gimkit has a ridiculous amount of quizzes that are already made. One of the things I teach teachers that really doesn't have anything to do with protocols is quit making tests. Alex, I will show people Gimkit and they will come up to me and they'll say this, do you think I could make one on 2's times tables? And I'm like, sister, there are 8,000 2 times tables already made. This is like going to Target. This is not like going to an, build your own axe festival. I'm going to look up things like periodic table, planets, weather, any of those generalized terms. There are literally dozens and dozens of quizzes already made. Now, for time purposes, I'm going to start the game. If you're not in yet, the code's still on the screen. You can join late, and I put the code in the chat, so you're fine. So I'm gonna start the game. Little heads up, Bonet means what is it? What is this? What's in the picture? And look, Alex, we're off to $-. We're -4. We're going upside down, -6. Usually we'll hit about -13 before we turn it around. It depends. It's a morning group, we could go lower. Pay attention to the feedback, you guys. If you don't know what it is, it gives you the right answer. And Alex, while people are playing, this is just really a small thing here. I'm not counting on me to correct the kids. The computer's doing it for them. They're getting their feedback in real time. Alex, we just went positive. We're up to $11. Okay, Trish is taking the lead there. Dean's in there. Lisa Mo, you better pop this. You have experience with GimKit. So again, Alex, 2 minutes, 9 words. Let's go. This is how I start my Monday morning in my class. I don't start by walking around saying, hey, do you guys know what this is? Let me build schema. And this is how they play Minecraft. This is how they play Call of Duty. This is how they play Tetris. You give a 3-year-old an iPad and a game, you know what they start doing, Alex? They start pushing buttons. They don't ask you for instructions. They're like, no, Grandma, I don't need you anymore. All we're doing is tapping into that part of their brain, which is highly developed. Emily Henry is giving Lisa a run for her money. And I know Lisa is super competitive in a positive way. Yep, there she goes right back into first. Just in your top 10, I'm okay with that. That's pretty good. Liz is playing with one hand. She literally only has one hand. The other hand has a kid in it. Liz is top 10, one-handed. Oh, Justin, you're dropping. Sydney just tossed you out of there. Okay, 3 seconds. And here we go. Now watch this. Oh, good job on the win, Lisa. Alex, first thing I did was I got right off of that page because I don't care very much. And it was cool that Lisa won. But here's what I really care about. We just did 700 questions. We just did 700 questions. These are 700 questions I do not have to grade tonight. And you guys know how you did right now, okay? You see that little thing right there? That's called ipsative learning, where it's very similar to how, yeah, thank you, Jessica. That was pretty fun. But wait till the next round. You're gonna love the next round. So ipsative learning basically goes like this. When human beings are given a game to play, and then you give them a score, their brain says to itself, if I play one more time, I bet I can do better. This is the explanation for the lunacy of golf. If I play one more round, I bet I can get under 80 strokes. This is bowling. This is Tetris. All those things that are kind of time wasters that we have labeled games basically are based around ipsative learning. Now, Alex, I would say 65% as a class average with 0 instruction is a pretty good start. But let's give them some details. I'm going to go to the question breakdown. You guys, is this pasta? Yes. Yes, it's pasta. But this is a Turkish quiz. That was a trick. Is this cake? It is not cake. Is it dondurma? It is not dondurma. This is makarna. Think like makarna and cheese. And 45% of you guys got that right. This one, Bonet. It's not makarna. We just learned that one. Is it chocolata? It is not chocolata. Is it patatas? That's potatoes, Alex. This is not potatoes. Nobody wants potato flavored ice cream. This is dondurma, and about half of you got that right. And I find this funny because I give this quiz out a lot. Almost always, the ice cream is in the bottom 3. I don't know why. You think people would really figure that out faster. This one's dondurma, and then the next one. If you miss this one, get ready to feel weird. Cake. It's right there. The answer's right in front of you. Cake. So here's where it gets fun, Alex. I'd only spend how long on the review? 30, 45 seconds. I'm not going to review everything on the test. I'm only going to review the 3 most missed. And then we're going to do this right here, you guys. We're going to play this game again. Another 2 minutes. Oop, I picked the wrong one. Hold on. I'm going to click away from that. Play live. Here we go. And another little tip for you guys while I'm logging in. These kids will have different games they will want to play. They'll want to play snowball. They'll want to play snowy survival. And here's the rule in my classroom, Alex, and it's based on brain science. We're not doing any of the fun games until you guys hit a class average of 85%. You have to unlock the fun games. And if you're tired of kids asking you if it's going to be Fun Friday, you tell them it's Fun Friday as soon as you get to 85, bro. That's Fun Friday. And then you trick them into taking the final 2 more times. It is hilarious to watch them work their butts off to try to get to 85 by Wednesday so they can have fun on Thursday, Friday. But my version of fun is them taking the test more. It's pretty hilarious. And then like Liz said in the chat there, you can literally use this with anything, because if you're in your textbook, right, Liz, in your textbook, almost every chapter starts with vocabulary. It doesn't matter if you're teaching traffic safety or health or times tables or parts of speech, or I'm going to go Justin's own ancient Greece. Doesn't matter. There's vocabulary we got to know. And using this method, I can ram that in at nearly 100% accuracy with no grading for me. And guess what game we're going to play tomorrow, Alex? Same exact game, except tomorrow we'll start at 80%. And I'll be like, wow, if you guys do one more rep, you can unlock snowball. And the kids are like, yeah. So I'm totally changing the vibe of the classroom on something that used to be the bane of my existence as a student, which was writing sentences about the vocabulary words, or trying to talk Justin into doing my crossword for me on the way home on the bus. Justin, I have 2 Jolly Ranchers. Can I copy your homework? And now with Chat GPT, they don't even need to have a friend. They can just run it through Chat GPT. They can say on their phone, Chat GPT, give me the answer in a sentence to the following vocabulary words. It'll do it for them. Okay, here we go. Round 2, 65% last time. And I want to emphasize while you guys are playing, but I know you're super focused on winning right now because that's your ipsative loop kicking. Yeah, I know this is low level, but that's why we call it the gateway. This is replacing those crosswords, replacing those worksheets that you normally do, replacing those things that generate stacks and stacks and stacks of paper, replacing all the phone calls about the kids who don't do the stacks of paper. Alex, if my kids play like this all week, I'm not going to have to call parents about missing homework. And when I don't have missing homework, Alex, what happens to my grades? My grades go up. When my grades go up, I have happy parents. When I have happy parents, they think I'm a good teacher. When they think I'm a good teacher, they don't call me into the board meetings. It's a really cool little progression. We have a bunch of Liz's in the top 10. There's like a Liz backup in the top 10. Now, I want to say this again. If you don't own GimKit, I think it's $58 a year, Alex, which comes out to like $4 a month, worth every penny. But if you're a Blookit fan, I'm going to use the same exact strategy in Blookit. In Blookit, we're going to play Cafe and Factory until you hit 80%. Then we can play the fun games like Tower Defense. If you like Kahoot, you can do this in Kahoot. And you can use this model in everything. And like I said, I started doing it in 2001. There was no YouTube in those days. Like we didn't even, the word social media was not a thing in 2000. Still worked on paper. 15 seconds. Four seconds. Jennifer Goodman showed up. All right. All right, again, I'm not worried about the individual scores. Alex, you ready? Are you unmuted? How many questions did we do last time?
I think 70 or no,
last time we did 700. This time we did 1,000, Alex. 1,000. That's a big difference. What was our accuracy last time?
65, I believe.
65. I can remember that because that's my football number. What was our accuracy this time, Alex?
94.
Boom. What's my grading time, Alex?
0.
How much instruction on Turkish foods have I done? Like literally a minute, right?
Yep.
And the reason I pick Turkish foods is I want the adults to feel the same way a kid feels the first day of long division. or the first day of periodic table, or the first day of the Hungarian-Austrian War of 1837 that nobody knows about. I want the adults to feel that kind of same disorientation. So that is the Fast and Curious. Congratulations to Hannah. And let's see, let me get back into the slides. So again, this is the Fast and Curious. I really like it with wordwall.net. If you guys haven't seen wordwall.net yet, it's also, there's a free version you can play. It works great with quizzes, works great with Book It. But basically what we're doing here is we're just listening to what brain science tells us. And brain science tells us this is called the forgetting curve. And we don't talk about it much in education, but if I do something one time, I'm only going to retain about 12 to 15% of it. If I do something a second time, I'm in the 40s, maybe the low 50s. If I do something a third time, boom, I'm up in the 60s. And on that fourth repetition, Alex, look what happens. Retention is in the 75, 80% range. This is what the brain science tells us. If we do something several times, we remember more of it each time. Why don't we use the forgetting curve in school? And I'm going to tell you why, Alex. I used to have a stack of papers this big. And if you think I'm going to quadruple that, you are crackers. I'm going as fast as I can. But when you change the mindset, you change the outcome. It's a very, very simple concept, but it's super duper powerful. And if you guys want, while I'm working, you can just literally make a new tab and type in the forgetting curve, go to Google Images, it'll blow your mind. I didn't know what this was till I was 56. I was just doing this off of instinct, okay? And then I'm just gonna throw out an analogy. Can you imagine a 1970s era NASCAR guy trying to race in a 2023 race? I mean, think about how ludicrous that is. They literally, it's called stock cars because they used to use regular cars. That's why it's called stock car racing. They just take the hubcaps off and start racing. That's stock car racing. Look at the guy in the 00 car. He is going to wipe the floor with poor old number 6 in his Letterman jacket. He doesn't even have pants. He's wearing jeans. They didn't even know what safety was, right? But yet, when you look at teaching, look at this. Ooh, this picture is scary, dude. It's a scary picture. 1972, what are we doing? Trying to get the kids to listen. Guess what's happening in 2021? We're trying to get the kids to listen. The only major change here, Alex, is that the picture is in color. That's the only major change in over 50 years, right? So here's just a quick testimonial. And then my friends that have joined, you guys get ready to unmute. You're coming up at the end of this. What if I told you, Alex, what if I told you that you could do no grading by hand and your students could get all A's on their vocabulary and basic stuff? This is this group on Monday, 60s on 98. Look at this class by Beth Moore. They cut my AP class from 2 semesters to 1. Beth had to ram 2 semesters of AP into 1 semester. And they're slamming these in, doing hundreds of questions a day. And the kids have said this, are we ever going to do any actual work? They don't even realize how much they're learning. They have 90% score and they're like, hey, when are we going to do actual work? Because sometimes kids equate the education part of learning with a lot of pain, and it doesn't have to be painful. Look at this. What if I told you kids can make infographics like this in 20 minutes? This is a pre-read. It's called Number Mania, if you want to look that up. Look at this person, and I'll talk more about this in the breakout. This person's vocabulary went up 40% in 5 minutes. I'll show you guys how to do thin slides next class. In California, Alex, we have a statewide science test. It's called the CAST. When is the last time you had your kids say this? The CAST was so easy. I bet there are not a lot of people who their kids say, the end of the year test was so easy. That's pretty cool. What about if I told you, you can do this amount of research? This is called the research protocol. These kids are cranking this out. And I know you can't read it, but just look at the volume. This is happening in 1 class period, Alex. They're cranking this. This is not a week. This is not 3 periods. They're cranking this level of research out in a week. And then this craziest one of all, what if I told you kids love taking tests over and over again? Look at this natural selection quiz. This is 5 different classes in the high 40%. on Friday, that same group is in the 90s. And, you know, you're not, when you're doing EduProtocols, you're not in the lunchroom anymore going, this is a low class. I mean, I just don't know this year. This lowest class has gone from 42 to 87 in 5 days. 87 is a long ways from 42 as a class average. And then my good friend Jamie Halsey shared this. What if I told you you could do your lesson planning in 20 minutes? And here's the testimonial. I had 20 minutes left in my prep, so I planned next week. That is bonkers. When I went back to the classroom 3 years ago, Alex, when the bell rang on my contract, I walked out every day. On the weekends, I just did football and World of Tanks and barbecue. I didn't do planning. I didn't do all that stuff. I just enjoyed my weekend, and it gave me a lot more energy. Okay, this is the part where my friends are joining. I've got Justin and Liz and Lisa and Jennifer, and they're all going to take about a minute to tell you guys that I'm not full of hoo-hoo. They're going to give you some testimonials real quick. And Justin, is it okay if you go first? Because you're the one that I know the leastest.
Absolutely. So yeah, he isn't joking. My kids have never been more interested in learning than they are with EduProtocols. Last year was the first year I really got into using EduProtocols hardcore the whole time. The first semester, I kind of dabbled in it. I was getting used to it. My finals average for that semester was around a D plus C minus. It wasn't great. And then the next semester, I used all EduProtocols the whole time. And it went up to a B plus average. And it was shocking. It was, and the classes just went so much better, so much smoother. The kids loved it. They were into it. And it goes into what EduProtocols are about. EduProtocols are about reps, about doing the protocol continuously throughout the year. So as they became more comfortable with the protocols, the class became incredibly fast paced. Like Jon was saying, I can get through 6 protocols in one class, 145-minute class period. We're moving, we're doing things the entire time, and they don't complain about it. So like I said, it's about repetition, which brings to mind, a quote by Bruce Lee, who says that, I fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And that's kind of what EduProtocols is all about. Students get better with each rep while using the 4 C's. And as the years go on, like I said, as the year goes on, they get faster and they get better. So it's not just that your class is going faster, but they're getting better at everything they do. They're thinking more intuitively. They're thinking more, they've got more thought process through the whole thing. They're giving you more because they're comfortable with it. They're good at it. And kids like being good at things. I like being good at things. I think everyone likes being good at things. And when you get the practice in, they get really, really good, and they get really, really fast. The proof of concept is that it works. Like it's like from my exam grades. There's one, you always get students who are hypercritical, right? And so one we were doing a sketch and tell, and I had this girl say to the student next to him or her, who was going kind of slow in her group, just do the stupid thing, draw the picture, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, how dare you criticize my fantastic lesson? And so what happens is
the audacity.
A week later, we're doing a review, and I asked her the exact question because I remembered it. Of course, I remembered it, right? I remembered what she had said, and I said, "What do you remember about this?" And she says, "Oh, I drew this as this," and I said, "Such and such, and this is how I described it." I said, "Oh, not too bad for a stupid thing, right?" And so she never complained again. She had a big old smile on her face because she liked being good at it. She liked that she remembered it. I tend to use a strategy.
Justin, you could go on all day,
up?
but I got 4 other people, bro.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I love it. I just want to make sure that we have time equity. But yeah, Justin, I've experienced the same thing. When you do the textbook, the kids are doing a different activity every day. Sometimes you look at your teacher's edition and you're like, I'm not even sure what this is. I need an answer key. Imagine being a person without a college degree feeling that way, right? Would you agree with that, Justin? And then they feel lost, and then they're just doggy paddling, and then you lose them.
Right.
Okay, Liz, jump in. And thanks, Justin. It was good to meet you on Zoom for the first time in real life.
Nice to meet you too.
Hi. So I got my 2 littles running around. I teach fourth grade in Portland, Oregon at a non-denominational Christian school. And we started, really I was introduced to EduProtocols in 2020 by my dad, who's a principal in California. And it was just the books. He just said, look at these, check it out. The online resources are free, which that's kind of a huge thing, right? Is that I'm not spending hours and hours making all of these templates. The templates are already there. All I need to do is plug in the content for whatever I need. So probably, and I'm sure you're excited about them like we were. It makes lesson planning so much easier, especially I teach social studies mainly, like Oregon history. So there's a ton of quizzes already. I use quizzes, the free version, because I'm still trying to get people to, wait, get an applesauce. Which it definitely helps with being able to come home and kind of breathe, definitely. But I am very bad at keeping data. So I'm very excited to, this is actually the first time I've met Jon, first time I've had a live session. Everything else I've learned is just from the books. And every time my principal comes in, we had accreditation this last year, I had multiple people stop into my classroom. Because even though we are a private school and our kids don't struggle necessarily as much as I would say our public school system, especially in Portland, you could not tell which kids were low and which kids were high, with the exception of I had to sit and read for my student with dyslexia. But it's really cool to see how that it's kind of like that light bulb where they get excited about something. And I'm sure Jon will talk about it later, is smart starting them. I learned the hard way is definitely the best thing. So starting with something that's fun and low content, I jumped right into thick slides, which was like a deconstructed paragraph with content, and they hated it and it was awful. So definitely learning from your mistakes and not giving up, but I'm excited to keep learning, and I've already been taking notes. So just don't be afraid to keep learning.
Right on. Thanks, Liz. And good to meet you too. Your dad is awesome, by the way. He's a cool cat. Okay, Jen, I'm picking you next.
All right. So I met Corippo at a Q Rockstar camp in Big Bear 2019. And I went there because I needed people who thought differently like me, because school was not working. I was miserable. The kids were miserable. And I was really captivated by the idea of EduProtocols. So I took it back to my classroom in 6th grade, and I jumped in. I went full EduProtocols. And what I found was that it kind of brought my class to life. So the kids that normally would either pretend to work or kind of hide in the back, and then, you go back and look at their work and you're like, oh man, if only I had time to help this kid. I found that I was helping all the kids all the time. No one could hide. So then I moved over to middle school, and now I'm doing a reading intervention class. And I believe so much in the EduProtocols and their success with my kids, because they meet every kid where they are, that I took EduProtocols to this intervention reading class with 7th and 8th graders. And we finished out last year, we used the iReady testing, and my average, not my average, but the iReady annual typical growth. So the students who have their growth goals, I had 72% of my kids, out of all my kids, I've got 6 classes, 72% of them met their average goal. And then of my classes, I had about 42% of kids move from more than 2 grade levels below on reading to actually more closer to their actual reading grade. So I found a huge success. My kids are a little bit rough, they're in the intervention class for a reason. They're kind of like me. They don't like the mundane, like, why are you making me do this? This is boring kind of class. So I found with using the EduProtocols, they actually look forward to doing work. They don't even realize they're doing work. They think it's fun because they get to put themselves into the assignment versus me giving them a worksheet or a book, to fill out. Like, they actually get to make sense of what they're learning and share their thoughts. So I love them.
Thanks, Jen. And then Lisa Moe. She's high energy like me too.
So good morning, everybody. So I first started taking a master class from Jon almost like 4 or 5 years ago. And it all, for me, I've watched my students. I was teaching in 4th grade. This is pre-pandemic. I am so grateful for EduProtocols that got me through that distance learning time. I can honestly say I may be one of, few teachers and my class of my distance learning classroom that has come out of that saying how much they loved that year. And it's all because of that high engagement and actual, seeing their growth. They're owning their learning through EduProtocols, and they're able to have fun with it and enjoy it. Since then, I've taught 5th grade, and as of yesterday, I started teaching 6th grade. It was my first day yesterday. I went in with no stress. Planning for the day was easy. It was all EduProtocols. My students left yesterday. You should see the emails I'm receiving from parents that they're excited to return today. I have a student teacher this year, and I'm wrapping him right in with this. And it's just something that it's given me that boost in confidence as well as an educator, because not only am I seeing my students' growth and I'm able to use my high energy and use my engagement and get them, wrapped up with me, but I'm also seeing my school site. I'm very fortunate to be in a new district, and, my last district as well, they're using EduProtocols now. I'm really happy with those breadcrumbs that I left. I'm over here now at my new school, and I have my entire school is captivated by EduProtocols. We just sent 10 to the Laguna Beach, sessions over there. And to me, that speaks volumes, because they're seeing my confidence in what I'm doing. They're seeing the kids' confidence and growth happening. And what more can you do than to spread the word on EduProtocols? So as he said, Jon Corippo doesn't have to do a lot of talking, because we will all do the talking for him. These work, we're believers. We see it happening. So that's it. I love him.
That's
so
awesome. Thanks for sharing, you guys. I don't know a lot of people that'll just do open mic during their keynotes. So, and especially with people I haven't officially met in some cases. So hopefully that speaks a little bit about what's going on with all of this. And Liz and Jennifer and Justin and Lisa, just hang on, because I'm going to give you guys some more cool free PD here. So this is what I got as a student. I would get a lecture, I would get work, and I would get feedback. And the feedback would be later. Does that make sense, Alex? Like, hey, we're going to learn about parallel. I need to tell you everything you need to know. Here's a fairly cruddy set of questions from the end of the history book or the science book, and then turn them in before you go to recess. And the problem with that is I'm not getting any live feedback as a learner, right? So this is what that's gotten us as a country. This is us since I was in 1st grade, you guys. This is NAEP, National Association of Educational Progress. It is not comparing us to other countries. It is just saying the costs and progress on its stated goal. So these bottom 3 lines right here, this is us versus us since 1970. We are not getting better. The schools that score high, which are mostly rich schools, keep doing well. The schools that are poor continue to do poorly. We are not changing. So what we try to do in protocols is, it's not a rebuild, it's a remix. So we'll start with some work, just like we did. We just pop those guys in and start working. We find out what they can and can't do. We give them feedback and direct instruction, Alex, immediately in context. And then we do the work again, just like you would do at any sports practice, right? I'm going to line up all my guys. I'm going to throw them the football. If they're not catching it well, I'm going to give them some techniques, and then we're going to do it again. And then we're going to give them some techniques, and we're doing it again. There's nothing new here. We're just changing the order. And I'm going to give you guys some more results here. This is a school that I work with in Southern California. Look at this right here. The number of A's, B's, and C's in their math classes has increased. The A's, B's, and C's went from here in math to here in math. Alex, that was a 6-week turnaround. How is it that science has more F's than math? Let's think about that for a second. How is it that history has more F's than math, right? It's the crazy numbers. And then look at this one right here. This is the inverse of that. The number of F's has decreased in math. Look at how much decrease there is. Alex, this principal told me that traditionally they only had a 1 to 2% variation in the number of Fs. And after we started using EduProtocols, they had a 12% variation. So in 7 years, the largest variable had ever been 2% change. In 6 weeks, we got a 12% reduction. How do you have less Fs in math than you do in ELA? How does that happen? And I'll tell you how it happens. The kids are engaged. When you're engaged and you're working, you're going to get better. Here's another teacher. This is her iReady math data. I mean, her iReady English data, Jennifer Dean. That's what she had on her first assessment in fall, Alex. 0% and 8%. Look where she is in the spring. Boom. Those are massive changes. Here's another teacher. This is Brooke Fernandez. Brooke Fernandez in the fall, 16% on grade level. In the spring, 47% on grade level. And this number is just as important to me, from 59% to 2 grades below grade level to 28%. That's cut it in half. So quadruple the number of kids passing and half the kids that are doing very poorly. And then this also applies school-wide. Here's a couple of school-wide scores. In the fall, this school was 22% passing in reading, and in the spring, they're 56%. This is the whole school, Alex. This is not some made-up quiz. This is an iReady assessment that's normed reference and criterion reference. It's aligned to Common Core. And here's another school. They quadrupled their math scores. And here it is by grade level. In the fall, they were 8%, and in the spring, they were 35%. And I know which class of kids I want walking into my class, academically speaking. So it's a really powerful thing. Now, see this slide right here? I'm going to just talk about this slide, but we're not going to do the whole thing because this slide scares me. There's a lot going on. But in EduProtocols, we're going to do all this good stuff. We're going to input, we're going to question, we're going to have a response, we're going to monitor, and we're going to give feedback. The thing that changes with EduProtocols, Alex, is we change the order. I give input, and then I give feedback. I monitor the second repetition based on their immediate response, and then they ask questions. So we do almost the same exact thing, but in a different order. Because a lot of these textbooks, I don't know if you guys have been teaching for a while, but a lot of these textbooks are built by professor type people who work with adults. And that is not what we're working with in K-8 or K-12. We're working with kids. And when we change our system to meet their needs, they respond massively. Here's another one that I mentioned earlier, you guys. Look at this work by Robert Mayfield. The best way to get teachers to buy into EduProtocols, demo while they watch. This is my new favorite thing to do. It's empowering, relational, and free. These are high school kids, and this one is called Number Mania. You can see they're building it right here. He's getting high school kids to crank out these infographics, Alec. This is a 25-minute lesson. A 25-minute lesson, and they are cranking it out. And it includes a presentation by each student. So somebody within the chat was asking about the 4 C's. This is creativity. This is critical thinking. This is all of these things all in one nice little wrapped up bow, okay? And so that one's Number Mania if you want to look it up. We also have really high standards when we're working with EduProtocols. So like, for example, when I'm doing things in EduProtocols, on Monday, I'm expecting a class average of 35 or 40%, expecting. And on Tuesday, we're going to hit 55. And on Wednesday, we're going to hit 75. And on Friday, they feel like they earned something because they've been moving forward all week. And some people ask, how do we grade these? Really easy. If you're doing the work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you get your 5 points. On Friday, we play the game. It's like, think high school. Friday's game day. And on Friday, they play the game for an academic score. So now we're going to do one more quick demo, Alex. So if everybody wants to go over to gosocreative.com, I'm using the free version. I got to pop out for a second, and then I'll be right back. I got to do this here, Go So Creative. Hold on. I'll be right back to that. All right, there we go. I got to get myself set up here. Hold on. It went to the wrong one. There we go. Excuse me. I'm going to log in here real quick. Okay, now the quiz is ready. How long did that take me, Alex, to get the quiz ready? Quiz is ready. 8 seconds. That included the login, right? So now what you guys have there in Go Informative is an empty box. So just go ahead and go to gosocreative.com. I'll put the link in the chat. Gosocreative.com. And like I said, I'm linking in the chat here, doink and doink. And then the room name is my last name, Corippo. That's 1 R, 2 P's. Corippo. And I've got that in the chat now. So if you need it, it's in the chat. I'm going to switch over to Socrative. Alex, you can see up here, I got 31 kids in my class right now. Okay, so that's how I measure that. Now I'm going to show you guys a free tool, eduprotocols.com/class. You don't need this part yet. This is for later. This is me. This is what I'm going to do with the kids. I'm going to put a random emojis on the screen, Alex. And I don't know what we're getting. So we've made this random emoji generator with EduProtocols. We took out the taco, the eggplant, the water drops, the peach, we took out a bunch of stuff. We did leave the poo. So here's what I want you guys to do. Here we go. You ready? I'm going to give you a random emoji, Alex, and everybody that's in there. And I want you to write one sentence about the random emoji. So just write one sentence. Do not hit submit yet. Just write, oh, that's not, I want a better one. Here we go. Let's go. There we go. So write one sentence and then do not submit. Write one sentence and do not submit. Just write one sentence. And this one's going to be the main idea for your little mini paragraph we're going to write. And Alex, just a heads up, we're exactly on time to be done at 9:40. Is that you? Is that what you want the stop time? Okay, just as a heads up.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so write a quick little sentence. It can be literal or figurative. You could say, "I'm the king of the world," or you could literally say, "I love Burger King." Not a problem. However you want to do that. Here comes the second emoji. Remember, don't hit submit yet. Here comes the second emoji. I don't know what it's going to be, Alex. Oh, we almost had the poop. I saw it in there for a second. Okay, here's your second emoji. Now the challenge is to hook your first sentence to your second sentence. Your first sentence hooks to the second sentence. And it says right here on the screen, the goal is to pursue an idea. Alex, tell me I'm wrong. We do this a lot of time with the hamburger paragraph, right? And everybody teaches the hamburger paragraph, but everybody hates getting these paragraphs. First, I'm going to tell you about. Secondly, I would like you to know. Thirdly, here's another fact. And then I hope you like my paragraph. People hate when kids send that to them, but that's what we keep teaching them. So hopefully you have 2 sentences in now. I'm only going to do 3 for the practice, just so you guys can feel the whole process here. So emoji 3. Oh, that's a fun one. That could go a lot of directions. And one other little just coaching point for you guys. If kids say, what is it? I tell them, not my problem. You figure it out. You figure it out. Not my problem. Okay, now, once you've got your third one done, you can start submitting. Once you've got your third one done, you can start submitting. And look, Alex, some people didn't catch my instructions. A couple people did. One sentence and hit submit, even though I said don't hit submit 43 times. They were so excited. They wanted to send in their sentence. Alex, look at how my class is doing right now. Look at my screen, dude. Is this cool? Look at all these fun little things. The girl was selected as queen for the day. She was shocked and surprised she was selected. She thought about it for a while and declined the offer. I love it. King's power over the nation. Kings are really great. Are you serious? The disappointed king lamented the rainy day. He looked outside. He couldn't believe his eyes. Oh my, he had to ponder his new revelation. So the idea of the random emoji power paragraph is to give kids 5 sentences. And the challenge, Alex, in this is to pursue an idea, to stay on topic. Because when you switch topics, you get a new paragraph. So now in Socrative, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to click this button. I love this button. Start vote ends the writing period, and it allows you to all see what you did on your own screens. Ooh, look, we got into Queen Elizabeth here. And then look at the differences between J and K, Alex. One is crazy British literal. The other one doesn't even say the word king. Do you see how that works? To me, that's creativity. To me, that's critical thinking. I'm giving kids a problem to solve. And what kids love about doing this, oh, boy, look at this one. The British royalty is built upon stolen goods, ideas, and land. But somebody went on. I have a feeling like this could be Justin, the history teacher. What's really cool about this is kids can see what the other ones wrote immediately. And it sounds impossible, Alex. And I'm telling you, I've been teaching. I was in the classroom 19 years. I know teachers that expect kids to write one paragraph a week. I'm going to just let that sit there. I know teachers that use like the workshop model, and they expect kids to write one paragraph a week. I'm here to tell you that using this technique, I can easily, Jennifer, will you give me an amen on this? I can easily get kids to write 3 paragraphs in under half an hour, easily. And we can do that every day. That means my kids are doing 15 to 20 paragraphs a week as 5th or 6th graders, and they don't mind. It's really, really cool. Ooh, I like you a lot. The princess took over the world with her sarcastic wit. Even her fans were taken aback by her direct approach and made them wonder if she was fully capable or just entertaining them. I love it. So what I will do with the kids then is this simple, Alex. Ready? I go, that was really, really nice. Let's write the next one in first person. And I go like this: short answer, new question, require names, send it. And once it loads here, I reload over here by hitting this dude. And I'm not going to have you guys write again, but just watch how your brain catches on fire. All right. Oh, this one's going to be dramatic. There's a big dramatic finish on this one for sure. Oh, it looks like somebody got broken up with, maybe. On their birthday. Who gets dumped on their birthday? And so I wrote my friend a John Deere letter. That's from Dumb and Dumber, not Dear John, John Deere. And and then they were just kidding. Psych. So watch how easily kids can start throwing those together in Socrative. So that is eduprotocols.com/class for the emoji generator, and Socrative for the writing. And it's just, Alex, it is magical. It is straight magical. That's called the random emoji power paragraph. And then what we'll do on the last one of the sequence, we'll do 2 or 3 of those. And then on the last one, we do a nacho paragraph. And what do you call cheese that's not yours, Alex?
Nacho cheese.
Yep. So nacho paragraph is where we rewrite somebody else's paragraph. So I'll take one of the paragraphs that's submitted, I will copy it and paste into Socrative, and all of the kids rewrite that one. And on the one that we're rewriting, we're either adding a grammar element, we're adding a punctuation element, or I say, everybody rewrite this magical paragraph, but let's do it in third person, or let's add 2 proper nouns. And it's just so slick and so easy, and the kids are doing well. It's just amazing. Okay, little finish up here, and then I'm going to go into some deeper protocols in a breakout session in a few minutes. So here we go. This is my Latin roots quarterfinal, no, semester final, Alex. This is the semester final. How many questions on the semester final? 45 questions. Okay, 45 questions. Not many 6th graders are excited about a 45 question quiz. On Thursday, they did collectively about almost 2,900 problems with a class average of 87%. And then on Friday, they did collectively almost 1,000 more, right? We're at like, we're close to 3,700 with a collective accuracy of 92%, Alex. This is how I got my language arts scores to double. My kids went from 23% passing to 48% passing without me doing a lot of grading. Now, these can look a lot more complicated as well. So this is Ariana's. This is the teacher that I shared at the beginning. Day 3, I had 2 favorite parts of the day. Students said this is the most she had learned about in math in a long time. Students share the reflection. So these are variations of their end of week 1 reflection in Ariana's class. EduProtocols help kids connect and learn and build confidence, and they're doing wonders for this teacher too. And by the way, the Ariana that got the big scores, Alex, she's a science teacher. She's not even a math teacher, and she's quadrupling their scores. Pretty cool. This teacher, Michelle Lake, who I love getting shout outs to, she lives up near Jennifer in the high desert in California. She told our Facebook group, my kids told me they hate math with me today. My kids told me to my face, they hate math. That's what Michelle said. I gave her a couple of little tricks and ideas. Look at this. This is 2 weeks later, you guys. Her kids did 3,150 problems in 25 minutes. She has about 28 students. If you do the division on this, Alex, her kids did about 125 problems in 25 minutes. These are 4th graders. And look at this. They did this one and look at this one's 99 math, and this one's a different 99 math. She actually gave them 3 different quizzes on things like division basic facts. Super powerful stuff for a teacher that 3 weeks before said, my kids hate math with me. Here's another variation of Fast and Curious. This one, look at the quote. They were screaming for their victory. Screaming for their victory. Alex, what's the test? Culture. Because you know kids love culture tests. They just love culture tests. 23 kids, 1,400 questions answered, 13 questions missed, 99% accuracy. If you take 23 players into 1,427, that means they did 62 questions per round, Alex. They took the test 3 times. They did like 180 questions apiece. And I think on the first round, they were like at 92 and they said, can we take the final again? And they did it. And they said, wait, 95? Can we take the final again? And they got a class average of 99% and did 180 questions. She basically tricked them into taking the final one more time. And here's how true I know this is. This is my student, Jaden. 4 teachers told me Jaden would do nothing. This is Jaden destroying the whole class. He won by $4,000. He basically did the final 3 times, Alex. The final had 45 questions. This guy did the final. He did 139 questions and only missed 5. So it's really, really impactful for kids this way. I'm going to do some hands-on in the next session, and we're going to do things that are like more focused on science, math, and social studies. And then if you like this stuff, you can go to eduprotocols.com. Like several of my guests said, you go to eduprotocols.com, you can get free stuff there. There's the 5 books. By the way, they're all on sale right now for $4.99, the ebook version. So if you want a welcome back to school present for yourself, $4.99. We are almost finished with the primary edition, Alex. It's written just for K3 by K3 teachers. And then Jacob Carr just finished the ELA edition. So it's specific to like AP and college prep level skills. Here's your last free gift of the morning, everybody. We have the EduProtocols community on Facebook. There's over 11,000 teachers in there rapidly sharing. Like, it's crazy how much stuff they share in there. And then if you want these slides, you can just aim your phone at this QR code and grab these slides. And you guys, I'm not at all kidding. I do free lifetime tech support. Lisa, who was super fired up, she has texted me probably 50 times over the last 3 years. What about this? What about that? What about this? Jennifer Goodman and I are famous for our 3-hour conversations while I'm driving home from her district. And I talk to her all the way home, hours and hours. Justin, I haven't met in real life yet, but we're going to make that happen. But I'm very serious, y'all. If you need help, just ask. I'm here for it. And I've got us set here. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well, just in case your QR code's not functioning. And that's it for my official part. Alex, look how much stuff we rammed in there, and we're actually done like 3 minutes early. Incredible.
That was great. Thank you so much, John. So many great ideas there. And as we started John's session, we said that he'll help us learn to teach better and work less. And I think we definitely saw some ways we can do that today. And as John mentioned, this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg with EduProtocols. There's a whole lot more out there. So I do encourage all of you to dig a little deeper. I've looked into them a little bit. I actually led a book study this summer for a group of teachers on the social studies edition of EduProtocols. And every time we talked about one of the different EduProtocols, every one of them, you could see them coming up with a million different ways right away. They thought they could use it in class. So I think these are all great resources, and hopefully all of you found some things you can use, and we'll explore these a little further.
Yeah, and to just build on that, Alex, this was just basic, the data and the fast and curious and the random emoji. I'm going to branch it out into some more sophisticated ones next time, but I don't want to hurt your brains by giving you too much too fast.
Perfect. Sounds great. All right. So John, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if that's okay.
Okay. And then I'm going to answer Shannon while you're transitioning. Shannon has a great question.
Absolutely.
How do we help our teachers without, a specific PD event? I'm going to tell you guys this. You heard the answer in the beginning, and the answer is really simple. Shannon, learn a couple of protocols and then go do it in their classroom. What we do a lot of time as coaches and admins is we ask people to try to learn after school. Their brain is mashed potatoes after school. They're just trying to get to Target at that point, or Starbucks. So what I'll do is I'll say to them, hey, Alex, I'm going to come to your class next week. Are you tired of doing vocabulary stuff? Are you tired of doing crosswords? And Alex typically says, oh my gosh, yes. So I'll go and play some with his. We'll go and play them. Hey, Alex, are you doing ancient Greece next week? Yeah. Hey, how about I do a cyber sandwich with your kids? It's going to take about 15 minutes. Oh, right on. Doing it with their kids watching is by far the most powerful way to get this done. And that's one thing I love doing. I'll come to your school and do that for you, but I'll also teach you how to do that for your own school. Doing it with the kids in the room, by far, the most impactful way to get this change. Because until they see it, it would be like if I said, hey, let's open an official Texas barbecue restaurant. That sounds great, right? Well, if we've never been to Texas, we'll just be impersonating Texas Roadhouse. What we need to do is go and hang out in Austin for a couple of weeks and hit all the little places. But then we might even road trip over to Louisiana and hit some other stuff so that we can create something new. But until you've tasted the food, you're just reading newspaper articles. And it's the same with this. You've got to be able to see what it